Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys had a great Monday. Well, Bitcoin did what it did today. Had a 10 a.m. Eastern time flush again in the price action tonight, or today in the morning, unfortunately. So that manipulation continues to happen here in Bitcoin and crypto in general. Miners were doing pretty good in the morning hours as well, but then some of them turned into the red towards the end of the day. But we still had a majority of them turn out to be in the green here, so that was good here. We do have some news stories on Whitefiber, which is Bit Digital's subsidiary there for their AI center, data center build-outs and things like that. There's a good news story on that. We talked about it a little bit, I think it was on Friday, but we didn't go into details. We'll go into details today. We also have a news story from Google. Google is acquiring somebody to grow more data centers and things like that. We'll talk about that. We have some news stories on just the economy itself, Bitcoin, other things like that. We'll cover those relatively quickly. And then we'll get into Q&A at the end of that. Not much is going on with the miners right now as it is. It's the holidays, right? We have basically today, tomorrow, and then we'll be off on Wednesday and Thursday for Christmas. We'll be back to swing on things, I think, maybe on Friday at that point. So short week this week. All right, here's what we got. As always, not financial advice. We're doing only do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And I would appreciate if you guys did that. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here with Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin today followed suit like it has in the past, at least the recent past with it. So you can see on the chart here, this is a 1 hour chart of Bitcoin right now as it is. We are at 88,000 so far. And then you can see here right around 9 o'clock my time, it was actually 10 o'clock Eastern time. This is when things started to go south for us again here. And you can see within a couple hours, we were back down to 87.9. We did get to a high of approximately, what was that? Well, we got to 90,434. So we had a dip here happening, manipulation, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We saw this happening back here on Thursday. We saw the dip happening at that point. Did we have, let me see if on Friday, did we have a dip as well? We did in a sense, 10 o'clock here, we went up higher, then we came back down. We went up higher, then we came back down as well. So we saw that dip on Friday as well. So Thursday we saw that. Wednesday, same thing. We went up higher. And then we came back down right at 10 o'clock Eastern time, and we continue to go down. We bounce off of that, repeat the process. And I think we can possibly do that a couple of times here in a row. 9 o'clock, here's another one, right? We were going up higher. We came back down. So that's what now, 4, 5 times in a row that we've done this. Going back here, let's see, this is not 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock. This was on Wednesday, or sorry, it's Sunday now, going back to Sunday. We had the same thing happen here, but Friday. Pretty much the same thing happening here. We actually dipped below it before that. So what is going on with Bitcoin and this manipulation? It's kind of crazy here. And it's almost like you can almost play this a little bit if you wanted to. If you wanted to risk it, I guess, you could possibly, sell right around 9 o'clock Eastern, or at the end of 9 o'clock Eastern time, and then sell it, wait for the dip to happen, buy in at that point, and rinse and repeat. It seems like that's what's been happening here right now on it. So today, overall, I think Bitcoin was in the green here overall towards the end of the day. Let me take a look here on the daily chart. Where do we go red? We went red, actually. When I was looking at it earlier, we were still in the red here, but we are in the green, or we were in the green. We are in the red right now as it is for the day. So we were down just a little bit, 0.09% on Bitcoin today. And the new day, we're down a little bit, 0.59% here. Markets were in the green. Dow Jones was up. NASDAQ was up. S&P was up. Russell was up nicely, 1.11% there. So those were all doing pretty good here, but Bitcoin continues to get manipulated here, unfortunately for us. And we're kind of in this accumulation phase, it seems like right now as it is on it, which we've been for quite a while, obviously getting to 126, 127,000 roughly, and then coming back down here recently. Take a look at Ethereum here really quick as well. Ethereum was actually in the green today overall. It was up 0.21%. Miners, like I said, for the most part, they were in the green. Bitfarms was up still nicely today, 6.32%. BitTier was up 2.45% there. You got Kango actually being down 5.81%. That one got close to the 50 SMA here. Kind of got close, almost touched it there. Cypher was up just a little bit, 0.8. Cleanspark was up also just a little bit, 0.58. After being up much higher, was up like 4 or 5% at one point, maybe even 6%. CORZ was up a little bit, 1.22%. Hive was also up 3.18%. Hut8 had a great day today. It was up 14.21%. So the continuation from that news that we had last week from them is moving that stock up higher here. And that thing is right now up above the 50 SMA, 100 SMA, all of those. This one seems to be doing the best here, at least in the short term. IREN was up also quite nicely here at 5.31%. It is battling with the 100 SMA on that one. Mara was down a little bit, 0.49%. Riot was also down a little bit, 0.69%. Wolf was down just a little bit, 0.4% here. The Bitcoin treasury companies were mixed, green for the most part, but most, yeah, I would just say that. The only one that did really well here, you can see, was Metaplan was up 4.88, and Phoenix was up 6.67%. But this thing has been kind of bouncing in that area here over the last couple of trading days on it, way down in the bottom here. It is way, way low from where it started out here. All right, small miners. Same thing, mixed a little bit more in the green though. Any was up just a little bit, 2.15% here. DMG was up 6.2. Mawson was up 5.71% there. Canon was up just a little bit, 2.08. And then the Bitcoin miner ETFs were all in the green here, so that was actually pretty good. Ethereum holding companies were all in the red today. And then some of the other companies that we track here, American Bitcoin was up 9.55%. Not really sure what happened there. Didn't see anything. Wi-Fi was up nicely, right? Another 9.38% day here. It's had a nice run here on Friday as well. It was up 17% at that point. That's the news that came out with Nspace, or I think it's Nspace. We'll take a look at that story here in a second. Open was up just a little bit, 0.94. Oracle was up 3.34%. Nibius was also up 4.21%. Soluna was up just a little bit, 3.36. Bakkt was up just a bit, 0.09%. Fermi was up 5.21%. And then who else do we have here? Meta was up 0.41. Google was up 0.8. Amazon was up 0.48. Microsoft was down 0.21. And NVIDIA was up 1.49%. So overall, not too bad. Even with Bitcoin coming down here towards the end of the day and getting manipulated like it has here historically recently, things didn't turn out that bad for us. So it wasn't too bad overall. My portfolio was in the green for the most part, so I was happy to see that. Obviously, we need a lot more days like that. Right now, in after hours, pre-hours, whatever you want to call it, BitDeer is up just a little bit, 0.8%. Bitfarms here is actually now down 0.37% there. Kango is up actually quite nicely, 4.74%. Cypher is up just a little bit, 0.24%. Cleanspark is up 0.33%. CORZ Scientific is flat, it looks like right now. Hive is up just a little bit as well, 0.68%. Hut 8 is up 1.15%. IREN is now down 0.48%. Mara is down 0.1%. Riot is up a little bit, 0.35%. And TeraWolf is up 0.48% there. Okay, Bitcoin here for the month of December here. Where are we at right now with Bitcoin? Bitcoin is, let's see if we can pull this up here. There it is, down 2% right now. Can we get a green month out of December? I don't know. Right now it's looking a little rough to get us for a green month here, but we'll see. We got a couple more days, obviously, trading here left in the month. We are at 22 days right now in, so we have approximately another 8 days or so of trading left. We'll see if we can squeak out a green month on it, but it's hard to tell right now. Bitcoin ETF inflows, outflows. What do we see here today? So far we saw outflows, and that was including actually, no, it doesn't include, but we had outflows, 148 million outflows today, not including IBIT, BlackRock, which is the biggest holder there of Bitcoin through the ETFs. Fed tool here, has that changed anything from yesterday? We were at 22.1. We actually went down to 19.9, so that's kind of strange there. You would have thought with some of the stories that were coming out here today that we'd be actually doing pretty good here, right? One of those stories is on the unemployment. So full-time unemployment is falling at an alarming pace. The U.S. economy lost 983,000 full-time jobs in October and November, bringing the total down to 134.2 million, the lowest since December 2021. As a result, 78.2% of the labor force is now employed full-time, the lowest since June 2021. This percentage has now declined negative 2.5 points since June 2023 peak. In the past, such a trend has usually been seen during recessions. I mean, it doesn't really feel like we have a recession here in the economy, but we do have obviously a lot of people being deported. We do have some companies obviously laying off people. We've seen that with Amazon. We've seen it with others as well. So we are seeing the layoffs happening as well. And that is partially maybe attributable to AI. Partially maybe these companies got a little bit too fat and are kind of trimming that fat a little bit as well. And let's see, by comparison, full-time employment as the percentage of the labor force fell negative 2.2% percentage points during the 2021 recession. 2001 recession. Meanwhile, part-time jobs jumped plus 1 million in October and November to a record 29.5 million. The labor market needs more rate cuts, right? So that's kind of why I was saying that I was a little surprised that the Fed rate tool is showing a decrease from what we saw yesterday as far as the probability of having a rate cut. Because if this is in fact the case here, that we are seeing a soft labor market, the Fed should be lowering more rate cuts here. So kind of interesting way to see this playing out right now. As it is. Good thing is Strategy has increased their USD reserves by 748 million and now holds 2.19 billion and 671,268 Bitcoin there. So that's good. The reserves are there to help them pay basically the dividends that they pay out for Bitcoin. And I can't remember which ticker symbol they have there. It's STRC or one of the other ones. I can't remember which one it is. But that definitely gives them a nice boost there as well. So that's good to see that they're not going to be going anywhere here. We talked about this obviously in the beginning, right? Breaking 10 a.m. manipulation continues. Bitcoin has dropped $2,500 and liquidated 82 million worth of longs in at least 4 hours there. 60 billion wiped out from the crypto market, while U.S. stocks have added 465 billion today and are pumping close to new all-time highs. We saw that, right? We saw, I think the next post is going to be on gold, or no, this is on the M2 liquidity supply here. You can see the global M2 supply versus Bitcoin here has been going up like crazy, while Bitcoin has been going down here, which we have in the past, at least going back, I would say maybe a couple of months. We were following that pretty closely here, being offset by some people had it like 80 days, some had it 100 some odd days, whatever it was. We had pretty closely followed that, but we have definitely decoupled from it right now. And is it one of those things where it's basically a spring being loaded up right now, and eventually that spring is going to pop and we're going to pop up much higher in price? Maybe that happens here after the new year. We'll see. But yeah, we're definitely decoupling from it right now as it is. There it is. So gold new all-time high, silver new all-time high, S&P near all-time high, NASDAQ near all-time high, Dow new all-time high. Well, Bitcoin is down 28% from its peak, having the worst Q4 in the last 7 years without any negative news, FUD, or scandal. There is no explanation for this except pure market manipulation, which I mean, that's the only thing I can say right now. It's being manipulated. I mean, how else is it explained that every single day at around 10 o'clock Eastern time, Bitcoin just dumps, right? How is that possible? What is causing it? I mean, you would think they'd be a little bit smarter on that if they are manipulating it. Try to do it at different hours, do it at different minutes instead of the same time. But it could be just the algos running. The algorithms are doing their thing, and we have what we have here right now, unfortunately. Not much we can do about it except complain, whine and complain, and bear with it and be patient that we will eventually get out of this. I mean, that's basically all we can do. We are at their mercy. We don't have hundreds of billions of dollars to manipulate the market. I wish we did. I don't think I'd be manipulating the market at that point. I think I'd be just holding on to it and getting a nice fat return on it. But that's just me. All right. Next here, we're going to talk about the two stories that we do have here, which is obviously on Google, one of them. So Google's going to buy Intersect power for 4.75 billion, gains several gigawatts of energy and data center projects. Right. So when I saw this, I was like, oh man, this is what I thought was going to happen with some of the miners last year. I thought, these big guys would go in and just gobble them up and get the megawatts they want and not deal with any kind of co-location deals or anything like that. They would just go in, they got the money, they have the capital to spend it. And in the long run, it would actually be probably more cost effective for them. But we haven't seen that play out, right? That's kind of why I've been pretty bullish on the sector in general for the data center guys, because we have seen these companies going in and making deals. So in a sense, that's good. And I think this just points out that the demand is very, very high still for building out data centers, but this is probably going to be a couple years out. I'm not sure exactly what Intersect has as far as Intersect power, as far as what do they have currently online and what will they have here in this coming up here. But here's what we do have on the news on it. So Google is set to acquire Intersect Power, a U.S.-based data center and energy infrastructure developer, for $4.75 billion. The deal will see the hyperscaler's parent company, Alphabet, purchase Intersect's entire portfolio of in-development and under construction assets. Okay, so that's anything that's being developed. We don't know what that time frame is going to be, which comprise several gigawatts of energy and data center projects. So we don't know how much that is, right? Several could be 2, could be 4, could be 8. We don't know. But based on this, we know it's only several gigawatts there. Down here, following the deal, it has been reported that Intersect will explore a range of emerging technologies to increase and diversify its energy supply. Intersect CEO Sheldon Kimber will continue to head the company. The company will in turn partner with Google's technical infrastructure team to continue work on in-development and new joint projects. This includes the previously announced co-located data centers projects and energy site currently under construction in Haskell County, Texas. So we heard a news story from Google, probably going back a couple of weeks, that they're going to be investing in Texas in one of the counties there. I think Haskell is one of them. And this just kind of coincides with that, I guess. So definitely interesting there that they are doing this. let's see here. Intersect Power is a U.S.-based energy company with a portfolio of 2.2 gigawatts of operating solar PV and 2.4 gigawatts of batteries. Okay, so it's definitely not like I thought it was going to be like nuclear, but it's just all. Well, it seems like it's renewable, at least right now. But nonetheless, I mean, this is just such a strong demand that we're seeing right now for AI data centers to be built out eventually. So they are definitely spending money in there as it is. Next here we got Nscale. They agree with a contract with Whitefiber there for $865 million deal for 40 megawatts of space at Whitefiber's data center in North Carolina. The colo firm Whitefiber has agreed on an $865 million deal with Nscale that will see the NeoCloud take 40 megawatts of space at an upcoming data center in North Carolina. The 10-year deal will see Nscale rent space at Whitefiber's NC1 facility in Madison, North Carolina. Nscale could double its deployment at the data center over the next 2 years, so that's good. We do have a little bit of a picture of it. Let me see if we can make this a little bit bigger. So it used to be like a previous manufacturing facility, it seems like, but it's pretty massive there. I'm not sure how many square feet it is. It looks like maybe like 200,000 square feet or something. I think maybe they even stated in here. Let's see. Actually, see, after 130 years of okay, wow, okay, so it's actually bigger than I thought. It's almost 1 million square feet there, 946,000 square feet on it. Digihost and Whitefiber said at the time of the purchase that the site would offer 99 megawatts in short term, upgradable to an eventual 200 megawatts. So basically double there. The companies have invested $150 million in the site and said discussions are ongoing with lenders to finance the rest of the project there. So that's definitely interesting development there, right? We're seeing companies going in different, I would say different strategies, different paths. So we're seeing some companies buy up these kind of sites that have megawatts available right now that were once used for manufacturing, other things like that, that do have the megawatts. And then they're transitioning them over into data center plays. And then we see companies that are just buying basically greenfields, brownfields sites and building those out, or a combination of both sometimes as well. So there's a lot. Which path is going to be better? I don't know. This might be a little bit less costly, but you still got to retrofit it. You still got to do all the other things that you're going to need to do to bring it up to like a tier 3 spec maybe on that. Let's see here. Though an opening date for the data center has not officially been revealed, today's announcement said Nscale will start paying. Okay, so they're going to start paying for the 20 megawatts in April 2026, with a further 20 megawatts the following month. It will also get first notification of any future available capacity at the data center. Okay, so that's actually pretty quick here, right? If they can do that by April, that's within 4 months to retrofit it. But how are they retrofitting it? Are they getting into a tier 3 data center, tier 2 data center? Right, we don't know on that one, at least not right now. Let's see. Nscale, meanwhile, has enjoyed quite a year, signing massive deals with Microsoft and OpenAI to provide access to AI compute. It was only formed in May of 2024, spun out from crypto mining firm Archon Energy. Oh, interesting. Okay. So that one's obviously doing pretty good there. We're getting deals. But yeah, I mean, this is great news for Whitefiber. They were always like one of the smaller players here, buying up these smaller data center sites with, a couple of megawatts, couple like 8, 10, 15, 20 megawatts, something like that, these sites, and they've been transitioning them and getting customers that way. So this is definitely a much bigger step for them here going forward. And this is great news for them. Love seeing this. But that's it. That's all I got for you guys. I mean, it's pretty quiet out here right now with the miners, especially with quite a few of the miners now reporting their monthly production updates, which is sad, unfortunately. Would have loved to see the data there, but it is what it is. We'll go through this. We'll find other things to talk about that are interesting in the space as well, and we'll cover other things going forward also into the new year as well. But that's it. Let's get into Q&A here. So what you guys had to say, we'll call it a day. Like I said, it's going to be a short week with the holidays and everything else. So Q&A, let's get into it here with Q&A. If you could preface the questions with a question mark or a Q, I'd appreciate it as always. But let's see what you guys have to say here. Not much happening here in the chat either. You guys are probably also traveling, being with family right now, which is wonderful if you are doing that. So let's see here. All right. Neil says, investing in crypto has made me acquire multiple personalities. Yeah, there's highs and lows all the time in this. Kamikaze says 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., they're all the same. Yeah, it gets manipulated at that point. Roger, why do we need Bitcoin to pump when the miners are more correlated to AI now, NVIDIA, etc.? Because some of these guys do have a huge hodl position. I think that would help them out. Plus, a lot of these guys are also still generating revenue from Bitcoin more so than they are from AI. Until that flips, we need Bitcoin to hold steady or at least go up for them to make it much more advantageous for them, I think. All right, so that's kind of the reason why. Mortem, not sure how relevant it is, but the shutdown that ended in January 2019 kept Bitcoin flat for about 3 months before it began a steep climb. Okay, so we had a government shutdown back then, and it might take us 3 months, so we're only in about a month into it. All right, so we might need another 2 more months before things rally back up here in Bitcoin. That would be interesting if that plays out that way. All right, let's see. Milleg's 10 sell-off has been going on for weeks now. The 30-minute before the close spike up in price is also suspect. Okay. So there you go. Yeah, it's been going on for quite a while. Let's see here. Hi, Seb. If you have HUT 8 today, will you consider profit taking or wait until $100? What's your price for next year? On HUT 8, I'm guessing, let me see here. I think, let me see if I got that up here for HUT 8. With where they are right now, and I haven't updated this yet with their numbers. I think, okay, so here's what I got for them. This is based on Q3 revenues and things like that. So it's not probably the most recent data that I have on them, but let's take a look at it here nonetheless. With that information, what they generated here in the last 3 months, or actually the last 3 quarters plus the current quarter that we were in, right? I was estimating somewhere between, for them to be at $20 and $30, somewhere between that. If we look at the revenues here from the Q3 numbers, multiply it times, basically divide by 3, multiply times 12 to get the annual ARR for them. I had them between $30.92 to $46.38. Obviously, the deal that they had gone with, Anthropic and FluidStack there, right? That's going to generate nice revenues for them going forward, and that's not included in this as well. So I guess we're looking at possibly build out when completion next year sometime, right towards the end, I think. And that was I got to look it up, but we could possibly add some numbers into it. So if we add the numbers, I'd have to look into it. But based on this, I have them between $31 and like $46 at $50.39. So I think they're pretty well priced, but I think they could possibly go up higher from that if we include the revenues that they're going to be getting from that deal they're going forward as well. So we could possibly see them like around $75, I think. Maybe would be a fair, like I would say somewhere between $65, $75 right now with just quick math in my head. That's kind of where I would see them. But maybe we'll do that tomorrow. We'll take a look at what their deal was with Anthropic and FluidStack as well, or FluidStack more so, because Anthropic is just a customer of FluidStack's there. And what that would generate for them on an annual basis and include that in their projected annual ARR run rate, right? And we could possibly see where the stock could possibly be at that point. So maybe we'll do that tomorrow. We'll take a look at that. I'll pull in that data and we'll take a look at it at that time. But yeah, it's obviously had a nice run here, which was well-deserved on the deal. And I think it still has a little bit more room to run before it gets kind of like fairly priced here as it is at that point. Okay, let's go back here. Let's see, talked about that one. Okay. Rob says, I suspect that it is an ETF that is trading like that for 10 a.m. and 30 minutes before the close. Just one ETF? You think it's just one? Rob, so did Hive give a timeline for exactly when they are decoupling what facilities from Bitcoin? They did not, no. They are going to be doing that. Well, their facilities in Canada, they're working on those, right? We also know that the facilities down in Sweden are going to be changed over as well. But we don't know exactly when. And then the sites that they have in Argentina or Paraguay, I keep getting too mixed up for some reason. Those sites will continue to be mining Bitcoin there. All right, question is China who are dumping Bitcoin? It's not China. It's always when the U.S. markets are open. So it doesn't seem like it's China. It seems, when we go into like the Chinese time frame, it seems like that's what's pumping it. But then it's the U.S. markets for some reason. All right, Roger, when do you expect Cleanspark to get a deal? Sometime probably in 2026. I don't know if they're going to be able to get a deal here towards the end of the month here. We don't have that much time anyways. So I don't know if they, it'd be nice if they did, but I doubt it. So I'm guessing sometime in, would say possibly like the first half of 2026. They do have great sites in the Atlanta area that could be quickly, well, not quickly, I mean, they got to build them out, but they have the megawatts available there, so it could be done relatively quickly to the specs of the customer there if they wanted to. So I would think somewhere first half of 2026. That's kind of just what I'm thinking there. All right. Rob says it could be a MicroStrategy that is selling at 10 a.m. and buying back in 30 minutes before the close. I think people would see that on the wallets that they control. People would probably see them be talking about it like crazy. And plus, if they found out that MicroStrategy was selling it, probably dump the market a little bit more so. So I don't think it's that. All right, Morton says Trump Media bought more BTC, but the 12-month performance is probably turning retail off, don't you think? It has definitely been a rough ride for Bitcoin this year. Yeah, I mean, is it turning retail off? Possibly. Maybe retail is chasing other things. They're chasing silver, gold. Those things have been doing pretty good here. Let's see, retail gets interested when BTC moves, not when it just sits there month after. Yeah, people are bored with it right now as it is. So, yeah, it could be possibly there. But eventually I think we'll get a bounce here. It's just when. When will we get that bounce? Maybe when we get that Crypto Clarity Act or whatever it's called, maybe at that point. All right, let's see here. Roger's got a question here. Question, you said if Bitcoin drops 40%, you might exit for the bear market. Is that still your mindset? Yeah, if we dip below 40%, I think it might be we're heading back into another bear market. It's not going to be an extended cycle. So far, we're holding up right now, above the 80,000 mark, which is a good sign because that's like 36% drawdown from the top. So that's still within the recent historical drops that we've seen in Bitcoin, right? The two that we've seen over 30% here, but then we bounced off of those as well. So as long as that holds, I still think that the extended cycle may play out. But if we dip below that, then yeah, I'd be starting to get it a little bit more concerned, a little bit more. Maybe I'll start selling some stuff here at that point. Let's see, Martin, would you characterize this Microsoft deal that IREN got as a good or disappointing? Good. No, it's a good deal. 5-year deal, quite a lot of revenue there. At the end of the 5 years, they not only get to keep the chips, but they also get to keep the data centers. And then they can extend the deal if they want for another 5 years. But at that point, the data centers are built out. It doesn't cost you anything other than maintenance at that point. So it's a lot more profit at that point. So yeah, I think it's a great deal. Okay. All right. I think we've caught up to all your guys' questions here. Makes it easy. Going to be a nice, well, one of the shortest streams we've had here in a while. We're only going on about 30 minutes or so. So like I said, tomorrow, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I think the markets are open on Wednesday as well, but I got, we're doing our Christmas Eve on Wednesday with the family, so I'm not going to be doing anything live or anything like that. Spending time with the family at that point. Thursday, obviously, it's Christmas Day. Not doing anything at that except for relaxing, playing with the kids and all that fun stuff. And then Friday, we'll probably get back in the swing of things and see where the markets are at that point. Okay? But again, Roger, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you too as well, and to any of you that have celebrating other holidays. I think, was it Hanukkah ended today, right? Or the Lights Festival is ending tonight, I believe. So wish you guys all the best there. Anybody else? This is the time to spend with family. Markets are going to do what the markets are going to do. I think we did pretty good so far this year overall, depending on when you got into it. But I wish for you guys to be much, much wealthier going into next year and beyond that as well. But yeah, we'll talk about that more tomorrow when I give you guys my sign off for basically this week until Friday at that point. But I wish you guys all the best. As always, thank you so much for coming in. Love you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow.